Hey everyone. Hi. Okay. Hello everyone. Let's see. It's Rita. And obviously Teddy Bear here today for another Cricut Chat. We are going to be working on Infusible ink again, but this time we're going to use these. These are aluminum sheets that I purchased from Cricut, and I originally bought them to do some engraving on with my maker, but I noticed here that it said Infusible ink, so I wanted to show you how to do this. And let's see what else. Oh, I read all the comments because I always read all the comments from yesterday's video, and I apologize that I used a hole punch when I could have used just cut out a circle on the gingerbread man. So I'm going to go back. If you're looking for that file, I'm going to go back and put it in, so you don't have to use the hole punch. And I will repost the file with the holes in it as well. So I apologize. I saw a lot of people saying, how come you didn't use hole punch? And then there were also a couple of really great suggestions from people. One was Susan had mentioned you could do these eyes with vinyl, and that would make it a whole lot easier to apply than using the little teeny tiny eyes cut out of paper. So that's something, if you're going to go ahead and do this project, that's something you could definitely do. And then someone else mentioned maybe put a little bow tie. I thought, well, maybe he is missing a bow tie. Or to indicate girl and boy, you could put like a little head bow and a bow tie, or maybe bow ties that are color-coded, red and green. I don't know. But again, when we do these projects, I depend on you guys to give me feedback so that I can make them better. Because really, when it comes right down to it, I'm just a regular Cricut crafter like you. And I could always use some feedback there, okay? So anyway, good morning to everyone. I did get some viewer mail, but I'm going to hold off on it until I get a chance to open it up so I can show you all. So people are sending out their cards, and thank you. Thank you for thinking of me and sending me cards, and I will feature them all on viewer mail. So anyway, here is something called an aluminum sheet, and it's so blah. Looking at it, you might be like, what is this for? Or maybe you purchased it, and I probably should have saved this for Mystery Material Monday, but I'm on an Infusible ink kick because I found buffalo check in both the joy size and also the regular larger size of Infusible ink, and I just love it. So I'm making coasters with the buffalo check, and I'm making this with the buffalo check, and I just like this kind of thing. It's really fun. So I wanted to show you how to use it on something a little unconventional. These are aluminum sheets. In this one, it's size 5 by 7, and you get 2 of them. And there's a few things to know about them. So when we're working with them, I'm going to point those things out to you. Excuse me. And then also 5 by 7 isn't the only size that's available. Okay. Yeah. I like this buffalo plaid trend. I think it's fun. So, I'm working in my space with my, iPad just to kind of show you. Oh, happy birthday, Christy. Yes, Sarah, he loved his shirt, but he's 15. So the first thing when he got it, he's like, oh, I won't get made fun of in that shirt, like sarcastically. So I said, oh, well, I thought it was kind of vintage and kind of thing. And then he said, then he said, no, I'll wear it, you know. So he had to make appear like he was too cool for school kind of thing. But he ended up taking it and wearing it. He's wearing it today, actually. So anyway, so back to this. Aluminum sheets. They come there are different sizes. This happens to be one of, I think, 3 different sizes. And they come very securely put in this box. In fact, I need my scissors or something, because it has, in addition to being sort of in this clear thing, there's also, and you have to remember this for when you're working with it, there's also plastic on top of them. You can't really see it unless you kind of hold it. Excuse me, I have this dry cough. Unless you hold it sort of at an angle, but there is a plastic protective sheet on there, and you have to remove it before you can start working on it. And it's on there really, really good. So that is that. So let me take the one off of this, because we'll do 2 of them. So I cut this out with Infusible ink, and I'm going to turn on my EasyPress so that I can show you how this works. This does work with the EasyPress. Someone asked me about Infusible ink with an iron, and I have not tried it with an iron, but from all reports, it will work, is from what I've heard, but it won't be as vibrant. So if you do not have an EasyPress, but you want to try Infusible ink, it's not as if it won't work. It just might not be as vibrant because it needs that heat to sort of put that infusion into the into whatever the substrate is, okay? But I recommend an EasyPress, and I did get my mini. It's kind of out of camera here, but woo, I got my mini back. But I'm going to actually use my EasyPress 2 today because of the size of this. But you can use the mini on some Infusible ink. My feeling has been that it's not as vibrant either. So I try to use my regular EasyPress when I'm doing Infusible ink. So, I know. Can you hear that? That's how much of a dog owner I am. I have totally, I just totally tune their toy playing out. So anyway, what I did was I took a graphic that said Merry and Bright, and I cut it out on Infusible ink. Remember, when you're putting it on Infusible ink, you're going to put it on your mat this way with the ink part up, and then you're going to mirror your images, which is what I've done here. So you mirror your images, and then when you take it out, so I have another one here. So when you take it out, you would then, not necessarily using a weeding tool, you just use your fingers and you start peeling away. It's like a paper, you see. Now, what I did for this is the original image was Merry and Bright, okay? And that would have been what my buffalo check would have come out in. But then I was thinking, why not do it so that I really maximize the buffalo check, and then have this be the aluminum. So I achieved that by slicing the image, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So let me show you on my, sorry about the dog with it's not even a new toy, so I don't know. All right, so I went on a search, and I found several Merry and Bright images. This is the one that I used today, but I just want to show you what I did. So I'm just going to, let's hide all of these and just look at this one, and I can show you what I did. So I have this really pretty Merry and Bright, and I might want to make it whatever size. So it's a 5 by 7 inch. So I'm going to make it so that it's slightly smaller than the size of my, my substrate, right? But I want for it to cut out so that the buffalo check is all around it, and then the letters are actually going to be peeled out, okay? So I want to do that by doing, you can do this in two ways. The first thing you do is you're going to insert a square, and it's down here on the iPad where shapes, right here. Shapes. So I insert a square, and then I resize it. And for this case, I will unlock this lock because the size is going to be 5 by 7. So let's change this to 5 by 7. And actually, it should be 7 by 5, right? And actually, I was thinking I would cut it out slightly larger than the actual piece, because I want it to really all the way to the edge. I want it to go. So I made these slightly larger. So maybe like 5.5, maybe it's 6 by 8. Okay, but you don't have to do it this way. It's just an idea. You mean, clearly you could just cut it out and use the Merry and Bright, but I thought this was kind of a cool idea of using a lot of this buffalo check. So, so here's what you do to do that. So here's my, my box. I'm just going to make it a lighter color. So it's, and I want to put it behind, the actual image. So I use arrange right here, and I send it to the back. Okay. And then I'm going to just sort of line it up the way that I want it lined up. I think I will change the width to, let's just say 8 by 6 to make it slightly bigger, right? And then, let me, okay. I don't, oh, there we go. Okay. So then I'm just going to decide where I want this on my square, like this. And then when I have both of them showing, and this is the way that I want them to be, and these are very simple images, no layers, no extra like scoring or anything, but then I'm going to use my finger and select both of them like this, and I am going to go down here to actions, and I am going to slice. So by slicing, it looks like it didn't do anything, but in actuality, it did. It sliced out the image from that square. So in what you're left with is actually 3 pieces. You don't need that extra one, but you could cut it out just like this, or you could cut it out like this. And somebody also mentioned to me, like, even if you cut it out this way, you could decide to remove the outside part of it. And that I could have done that with this, but I want to continue on with just my letters exposed. So I'm just going to take off the letters, and we just peel it like this, you see? And if you have a hard time with peeling, you just have to kind of like bend it. Just be careful, you don't want certain portions to come off. And sometimes when you're using infusible ink, sometimes this little part of the paper will show. And that's okay. What I do with that is I go back with a weeding tool and just sort of remove it, like kind of scrape it off if it doesn't come off. But in this case, it did come off, okay? But I have little there, little there. So we'll go back and clean it up a little tiny bit. And almost done here. and someone mentioned, you know, you could actually get 2 images out of this. Yeah, you could. And I am all for saving product, but I have a really hard time with kind of keeping things from ripping and stuff. So I guess if you were really neat, you could definitely use the letters for to make another thing if you're really neat. But in this case, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. I know you guys expect a lot of frugality from me, but this is one of those cases where I just can't save the letters there. I'm the same way with those insert cards. Okay, so here we go. Merry and Bright. Oops, I almost forgot the I. And I am going to go back. Where's my weeding tool? Here it is. Just going to go back and like sort of scrape off this paper. So just so you can see up real close. Hey, get out of my stuff. Scrape off the paper. Guess he got bored with the toy. Get out of my stuff, please. Thank you. And you can just, you know, sort of scrape it off. To be honest, this is just sort of a little bit of an obsessive thing because I've actually done it with this paper on there and it doesn't really affect the end result, but it's just sort of an obsessive thing I do because I want it to be nice, crisp, and clear. No, do not take my infusible ink. No. Sorry, guys. I have run out of table space. I have to clean, but you know, it's that before the holidays stuff. And so they are just having a field day with stuff that's on the floor. It's driving me nuts. Okay. So you do better on this because you're not going to have a dog chewing away at your... No, do not. No. Go away. Go away. Go. So sorry. Yes. Okay. So sorry, I wasn't looking. But yeah, so slicing is like a cookie cutter. When you're putting something on top of it, it's going to slice through. But remember, get. Oh, I cannot believe this dog. Sorry, I have to move this big box. All right, get away. So it is like a cookie cutter. So sorry. Oh boy, dogs. Anyway, so you know what? He's getting at it. Unbelievable. Stop. I have to use my big boy voice. Stop it. Stop. Okay, thanks. All right. I hate to raise my voice, but you just don't listen. Anyway, so here is what we end up with. We've got 2 cutouts where the Merry and Bright are cut out here. And give me that. Give it. Hey, for some reason, he wants the yellow infusible ink. I don't know. Maybe is that the one called tennis ball? That could not be more. Is that tennis ball? Would you die? I would die if this was actually tennis ball yellow. No, it's called true yellow. It's true yellow. Okay, anyway, I know he left the toy behind me. So anyway, okay, so we have these 2 cutouts and we're going to put them on our aluminum sheets. Now, we need to check what is going on with the heat guide. So we're going to go to the Google or to the web, and we are going to search for the Cricut Heat Guide. That's this, and if you don't already have this bookmarked, you should. And here's what you would do. You would choose which press you have. I'm going to use my EasyPress 2, but I could also use my mini, or if I have the original EasyPress, which I don't because I gave it away, but you choose which press you want, and then you choose the material that you are going to use, and in this case, I'm using Infusible Ink Transfer Sheet, right? And then my base material is aluminum sheet. It is actually a selection on there under Cricut Blanks, aluminum sheet, okay? And then I hit apply. And it tells me that I need to do this for 385 degrees, which is very hot, and then also for 40 seconds. So I'm going to show you how to change the time on, well, no, I don't need to show you how to change the time. I'm just going to do that. So, and no pressure and a cool peel. Okay, so what we want to do is look at this because it's slightly different than doing a t-shirt. So here at the top is my EasyPress. Then comes butcher paper. Then comes my design. And I'm going to, instead of, I'm going to face it down like this. I think this is different than a, no, maybe not. So there is one, the coasters, that you have to change it slightly. But here we go. So we're going to put it like this. EasyPress, butcher paper, our design facing down, aluminum, the aluminum sheet, cardstock, and then the EasyPress mat. And then also they do tell you this in terms of the aluminum is you need to make sure you remove that plastic. And let's see. And yeah, here, both liners must be removed before pressing. Side with the clear film lining is the only side compatible with infusible ink. So we cannot do this side. We can only do this side, okay? And let's see, is there anything else? You could use the tape for this, but because we're not moving it, I think we're going to be okay. So let's get set up here. So we're going to start with, I have my mat here, and here is my cardstock. Let me just move this out of the way. Okay, so I have my cardstock. Here is the face up design. And then here is my Merry and Bright. Now I'm going to sort of decide where I like it. I think I like it here, like this. Yeah, I like it like this. And there's no preheating for this, by the way. And now I have to get my butcher paper. Butcher paper, come here. Butcher paper comes in the box. And there's usually like 3 or 4 sheets of butcher paper, so you won't really run out. One thing to note, and that is that there is no butcher paper with the pens. So if you have, for instance, purchased the Infusible Ink Sugar Pie Honey Bunch mystery box, and you want to do the pens, take the butcher paper from inside one of the box, okay? From one of the boxes that you got. Okay. So here we go, and then we're going to put our design on here. So, did we get the setup correctly? Yep. So we got butcher paper, design, aluminum, cardstock, and the mat. So now we're going to do the EasyPress for 40 seconds at 385 degrees. And again, you could use, if you wanted to, you could use the tape. It's not 100% necessary, and it doesn't really move, and you don't move your EasyPress. So let's just make sure that it goes over the complete design. I'm not moving it. I'm not pressing on it. And then I just hit my little C so that it will go through the 40 seconds total, and it will fuse onto that aluminum sheet. Okay, so here we go. We're almost through. It's really important for you to use that cardstock, and I'm going to show you why. Remember on Monday when we did this, we had actually we ended up doing two sides of the shirt, and I flipped it over. Well, it actually, the ink ended up on my mat. I mean, it didn't ruin the mat, but it did end up on my mat. Okay, so we did our 40 seconds, and let's take off the butcher paper, and that can be used over again. And this is really hot. Might want to give it a second. But let's see. Yay! What do you think? It is different, but I don't know how different it is. It's parchment paper. As long as you don't use wax paper, don't use wax paper, okay? What do you guys think? See, it actually fused onto the paper like this, but it's so super hot. I don't want to take it off, but there it is, super, super hot. And it makes me think that, yes, there are actually two plastic coverings on either side. Take it off, that extra plastic covering. Wow, that's why it's sticking to my paper. All right, oh, it's so hot because it's metal. But there you go. What do you think? So I cannot hold it up for you, but it is really cute, but I cannot touch it. So let me just show you that again. Move it over here. And I'm going to turn this over. There's what I was talking about from Monday. All right, so this is the side we can do on. This is the side you cannot. And if you wanted to put like a vinyl, just like a regular vinyl on the back of that, so that, you know, whoops, this is the used one. By the way, can I just point this out? So this is the used one, and you notice that it went from being that buffalo check to almost white. That's because the ink on this, so right here, it didn't do that, because the ink on this transfer sheet actually turned into a gas and went onto the aluminum. Okay, so you cannot reuse this. If you did, you would get nothing really. I mean, you maybe get like a shadow effect. And so this would just be a throwaway piece. So here is our second piece, right? And we're going to put it on here. I want to make sure that I have it on there really where I want it, and that it's completely covered the aluminum. Yeah, I think that's good. Maybe just a hair more to the left. Okay, so I want to make sure that the whole part of the aluminum is covered, and it is. Okay, so matte cardstock aluminum facing the correct way, which you can tell it's got a silver, and I just picked it up, duh. And facing the correct way, and then our design facing towards the aluminum like this. This is the transfer sheet here. All right. Butcher paper. And we are ready to go. Okay. So again, I'm going to put my EasyPress right over it. I'm not going to move it. And I don't need to press it. I'm just holding my hand here. But, and it's 40 seconds at 385 degrees. So this is just to demonstrate that Infusible ink can go onto different surfaces than t-shirts. And in fact, we're going to be doing the coasters, and we'll also do a pillowcase. And what else are we going to do? We're going to do a wine bag, and little ornaments that I got. Somebody sent me from Cricut, but they don't actually carry them at Cricut. I think they purchased them from Amazon, and I'll find out where, so that we all know. Okay, so we take off of our butcher paper, and there's our design. Woo! It's very hot. And there it is. So see, this one didn't stick because I took off. It's so hot. Is this one cool now? Yeah. So there it is. I mean, tell me that this doesn't look professional. I mean, you did it. You know, you could make something like this, and this to me, a little piece of, yep, there we go. This to me is as professional as anything you'd buy like at Kohl's or Target or something like that. Very nice. And you could hang it, you can either hang it, you could put like a hanger in the back, or what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rest it on a lamp base like this, and I think it's really festive. You could also, you know, if you wanted to add little stuff to it, I know there are a lot of people that like to, you know, add greenery or stuff like that, put it in a frame. You could put it in a frame, but here it's just, a magnet, a big old magnet you can make it into. Yeah, absolutely. So these are called, let me just show you the box, okay? So these are called aluminum sheets. They're rather plain looking, and they come in different sizes. This one is 5x7, infusible ink. It has to say infusible ink on it. You could try some other substrates, but it's kind of going to be a hit or miss type of a thing, because I don't know if this is coated or whatever. But for instance, I went and bought some tiles last year, thinking that I would try to do like infusible ink tiles, but it just didn't work for me. And I gave up pretty easily. I might go back to that. Hi, Diana. So this is the infusible ink. It's called Patterns Buffalo Check. You get in the box either for Joy or for the larger size. You get black, one sheet of black and one sheet of the Buffalo check. And remember that even though this is labeled Cricut Joy infusible ink, you do not need to use this with the Joy exclusively, because it's not a smart material. Okay, so if anybody picked up that Infusible Ink Mystery Box from yesterday, where is the front of this? It included these boxes. There were 6 of these boxes with 8, I still can't get over that, 8 baby body one suits. And then of course Babs said she picked it up so she could play with the infusible ink. And then she's going to donate the baby body suits to a local charity in her neck of the woods. So I thought that was fabulous, because she gets to play, and Babs does wonderful stuff. So she gets to play, and then she can donate it, and she learns something in the process. I was thinking I would just put it in my thrift shop, thing, or you can actually cut up those baby bodysuits. Anyway, it was a really good deal if you got your hands on it. So this is how you do infusible ink on an aluminum sheet. Isn't it great? Just be careful you don't burn your fingers, because it does get really, really super hot. And I know I'm not super careful about the finger thing. Okay, so that is going to do it. Wow, that was really quick. That's going to do it for today. Let's see. Today is Wednesday, right? Tomorrow, I think we're going to do another paper project, and we're going to talk about sizing. And I'm just going to show you what we're going to be doing. So I came across this really awesome Merry Christmas banner, but it's huge. It's like, these are like 7-inch letters. So when it says Merry Christmas, it's huge. So of course I cut it out in this size just to sort of see how it would look. But then I started thinking, what if I didn't want this enormous banner? And what if maybe I want to put it on my tree? So I've actually, let me just get it. I've actually shrunk this banner down into 3 different sizes, or I shrunk it down into to make 3 different sizes. So there's this one, this really, really big. You guys are being very bad today. Santa Claus isn't going to come. So this is really, really big. This is sort of a 2/3 smaller, right? And then here is even smaller. It's like a 2-inch letter. So, and if I have a chance, I'll make something halfway between there. So we're going to talk about sizing and how this image comes out with different sizes and how you can work it out and change up the size on anything that you make. The reason why I started with this was because somebody on YouTube watched a video of mine, and they didn't pick up on the fact that a lot of the Anna Griffin cards come in very small. So she cut the card out the way that it came in, and she was like, these are great, but they're awful small. They're more like gift tags. And then I realized she didn't know that you could resize them and what you should resize them to. So I just thought we'd talk about sizing tomorrow, okay? And we'll do this project, this Merry Christmas project. And again, as I've mentioned, we have a number of I have so many projects to do that I don't know if I'm going to fit them all in. I got something for Scrabble tiles. I got something for placemats. And let's see, we've got more infusible ink stuff coming, and more Christmassy stuff. I've got a great idea. Oh, we got the pillows on Saturday night. And I'm going to show you how to use the pillow, but somebody offered us like a different thing of using hot glue to make a pillow if you don't sew. So I'm going to get with that person and find out how they do that, because that would be kind of fun. I'm a sewer by nature, so it is not a hard sew piece, and we're going to embellish it on the machine with like a foil. It's actually going to be I think it's this Merry and Bright, because I really like this and I thought it would match. So make a little pillow out of flannel, and if you wanted to follow along, what you need is between a half or between 1/4 and 1/2 yard of whatever type of fabric you want, a pillow form. They come in all different sizes, 12 by 12, 12 by 14, 12 by 16, 12 by 18, but you want it to be square. Okay, for this project, you want it to be square because it's easier that way. And then you're going to need some iron-on. So, oh, right, fabric glue, but I've never used fabric glue. And so I'm sure that some people are going to offer some great advice for non-sewers. So I do hope that you do check in. Hey, listen, if you're still listening, if I haven't lost you, I am getting so close on my YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. So one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to reward somebody. I wanted to give a prize to somebody on my YouTube channel, and so I'm going to put this out there. And if you're already following me on YouTube, that's great. So I want for you to like and comment on any of my videos, because I see all new comments. So comment on any of my videos, and we'll leave that out there for a couple of days, and then you could win a $50 prize full of Cricut material. And it can be anybody. If you're watching on Facebook, as long as you are subscribed. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, watch and likes at least one video, and make a comment, okay? Once you make a comment, because that's how I'm going to know that you are part of the running, Okay, so if you make a comment, I'm going to, for the next couple of days, check all the comments, and I'm going to pick one winner from the comments, okay, and get in touch with you. So everyone, if you are or you aren't subscribed to my YouTube channel, this is an opportunity for me to meet my goal and for you to win a prize. So thank you, everyone, for coming today. I hope you have a great day. I know I'm going to be crafting all day. Oh, wonderful. Thank you also. You guys are so great at spreading the word and telling people about me. And I know that my YouTube channel is can be a little overwhelming. There are a lot of videos there, and sometimes you don't see the context of the comments, but I have things planned for the new year once we get over Christmas and make some changes there too. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jennifer. And happy crafting, everyone. And have a wonderful day. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.